Welcome to Just John and April, the relationship podcast, your place for life, love, and laughs. In today's episode, minimum requirements and the word of the day. Hey, babe.
Hey.
How you doing?
I'm good.
You look good.
Thank you.
You're looking fit. What's going on there?
You
know what? I mean, we've been working out, but you've been doing something else lately. What's happening?
Just a little detoxing.
Detox, yes.
Just a little,
Yeah.
Is it detoxing? No, detoxing.
No, detoxing.
Detoxing.
So what's funny is that you have dramatically changed your diet over the last 4 weeks. Mm-hmm. Do you want to share your craziness with our audience?
I mean, I'm not going to go into all that.
But I'm just saying, let them know what you're doing.
Just a little bit of, fruits and veggies only, raw diet.
Right.
And I did,
How many pounds have you lost? Tell them. Who cares?
13 pounds.
Exactly. You know what I'm saying? That's a big deal.
I'm proud of that.
I am too. And I think we should be telling people about it. That's good.
Okay.
Yeah. Now, are you hungry?
I am hungry for cooked foods. I'm ready for cooked foods. I've been doing this for a month.
Right.
And I need to eat something that has been put in a pot.
Yes. So pause right now because this is really funny and just subscribe. You know what I'm saying? and then like it because you've already liked what just happened, right? You liked the video. So here's the thing. I think it's funny. I actually believe this is the power of not just suggestion, but maybe the power of good example. April's been doing this for the last month, and so I decided she's looked so good and she's been doing so well. Her energy level is crazy high.
I mean, every time eating raw.
Right, and every time we sit down to record, anytime there's something major we have to do in this house, April is always talking about how tired she is. But for the last month, it has not been that way.
No.
And the only thing she's changed is this diet. So I'm assuming that has something to do with it.
It has to.
It has to. So I decided I'll join you. And I said, I will join you for a week. So I've been doing it now for this past week. And I've been hungry too.
You look great too. You look great too, babe.
Thank you, sweetie. But I am hungry. And it's not actual hunger because we eat a lot and we eat whenever we're hungry, basically.
It's hungry for the things
I want certain foods.
Yes.
I want bread.
Bread and, rice and pasta and, those types of things.
Yes. I want all of them.
I have been wanting to crunch something. You know what I mean? Yeah. I mean, and not celery.
I want to chew on something, right?
And not celery or carrot sticks,
Yeah, because we've been crunching.
We've been crunching.
You want like chips.
I just want a cracker.
Okay.
I just want a cracker. That's it.
So this is the thing, babe. Okay, so Thursday's my night to cook. So I cooked pizzas for the kids, made naan-pizza. So naan, and then you anyway, it's really good.
I just stood over the pizza
staring
just breathing,
at the pizza. Right.
And watching my kids eat, and they're like looking at me like, "Why are you watching us eat?"
It's bad.
No, but I'm not hungry though.
Right,
that's the thing.
Exactly,
I'm not hungry. It's just I want those things that I know taste good.
Yes.
And I'm a foodie, so I'm like, But this has been good because when I eat my vegetables and my fruit or whatever for dinner, when I eat my vegetables. Mm-hmm. I don't even want the pizza anymore after I'm finished eating.
Okay, I've been experiencing that too. My experience has been I really want it when I'm hungry.
Yeah.
And then when we actually eat, I'm good.
Yeah, I'm good.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But I still want it. I'm just not as hungry. Anyway, the point is, it's been great. So thank you, babe. Thank you for your power of suggestion and the way that you have
and so guys,
influenced.
I'm trying to do raw type, and I'm gonna say mostly raw during the week.
You want to do like 70-30?
Yeah. No. I'm not talking about that.
Oh, you're not talking about that? No. Okay.
I want to do mostly raw during the week where I do have a little maybe roasted vegetables or something like that.
Yes.
So not all the way raw.
Yes.
But that's what I want to do from now on. So pray church.
I'll be praying for you because I'm not joining you in that long. That's just too long.
I don't know. Yes,
but I do feel good.
That's what
I feel great
do.
right now.
That's what I want to do.
And I feel lighter.
That's what I'm
especially
saying.
around
and
the
the
midsection.
Energy level, I am just shocked. I have not talked about me being tired.
Right. That's true.
I have not.
Now, for me, though, there has been a little bit of it's almost like my body had to get used to this. I think now it's Thursday. I'm getting used to it because Monday and Tuesday, I felt a little lethargic. Not lethargic like that, just like I didn't eat enough to give me the energy to do what I need to do.
And it's new to your body. So you do have to, make that adjustments. Yeah. But I feel like, I don't have any more sinus headaches.
Right. That's a big deal.
That's a big deal,
You were
guys,
having
because I
those,
would
like,
have those
every day.
every day just from
Right.
allergies or whatever.
Yeah.
And I haven't had any since
Yeah.
I started this. So
Huge.
that's huge. I don't know if I can let this go.
I think you need to shout out your girl who got you on this, Shannon, man. She's a beast.
Yeah, Shannon Holt. Thank
Yeah.
you. She's
Thanks,
my
Shannon.
girl. She
Yeah.
hooked me up and told
Yeah.
me about this.
It's good stuff.
She's a healer. So
She is.
That's what I call her. She's a healer.
Anyway, so just glad you guys have joined us again. We do want to talk about something, and we're trying to start a new segment. This segment is called Minimum Requirement.
I mean, we're talking about the minimum, y'all.
And in minimum requirements, what we're talking about is there are some things that we believe are the very smallest, sort of lowest common denominator, baseline, every healthy couple has to do if they want their relationship to remain healthy.
Exactly.
Minimum requirements.
Minimum requirements.
So we're going to talk about minimum requirements more than just now. Like, we'll do this again in another show. But tonight's minimum requirement is something that April sort of...
So here's the question that I have for you, and I want to know what you think about this.
Okay.
You know, I always try to figure out why is it that there are times when we
Yes.
both have done this to each other. So this is not me coming to you with anything.
But who does this more than the other person?
I mean, come on. Do you want me to call you out like that?
You're right. No, you don't have to.
Okay. So there are times when we might get stressed or we might, be dealing with stuff at work or whatever, just not in the mood or sleepy or hangry or whatever. And, we might snap at each other or speak to each other, like be very short or kind of huff or, just attitude, whatever,
Roll our eyes.
whatever.
Yes, like you
And
just did.
so, like I just did. And I always say to myself, especially when I didn't do anything to you or you didn't do anything to me, it didn't, it didn't call for that.
Like, why am I
would
getting
you, why
that
are you,
response?
Yeah, why are you
Yeah.
short with me right now?
Right.
And then I will hear you answer a phone call, let's say. And I mean, all of a
Like the
sudden,
next minute.
all of a sudden, this joy, this this excitement to talk to someone, this wonderful attitude, smiling,
Yes.
and and I'm wondering, how can you just how is it that you turn that on for this person who you don't even have that deep of a relationship with,
Right.
right?
Yes.
But then for me,
Right.
you got to give me that. You can't, especially if I didn't do anything to you.
Risk,
Like if I
yes.
did something to you and you want to show me with attitude, I get it. But I didn't do anything. I'm being pleasant.
Right.
And the response is a short, attitude with a huff or a
Like you're
a
annoying
look
me or
like
something like that.
exactly.
Yes.
And I'm saying, why
What's
do
up
we
with
do
that?
that to each other?
Yeah.
I feel like, okay, I'm asking you that.
Okay.
I'll talk about how I feel after I
Yes.
hear your response.
Yes. So my reason for doing it to you, I first of all, we have talked about this before in our relationship, and you have pointed out before that there are times when I talk to other people better than I talk to you, and it's not like I cursed at you or anything like that.
Of course
we
not.
don't do those
No,
kinds of things
no,
anyway.
no.
But it seems like you feel in those situations like I reserved more kindness for that person than I had for you. And it doesn't seem fair that I would treat a stranger or someone that I don't really know like that with
That's
that
what
kind
I'm
of
saying.
kindness, but I don't do it for you.
That's what I'm saying.
And so I guess the minimum requirement in this situation would be that we should at least try to treat each other the way
Like
we treat,
strangers.
the way we treat
Like a
strangers.
stranger.
Right.
Because if someone were to come to the door
Right. You wouldn't just have
and
an
you're
attitude with
hangry
them.
or
Right.
you had a bad day at work, you're going to politely
Yes.
speak to them.
You would not allow that to affect the way that you speak to that person because you don't want to
Yeah.
give that person the wrong impression.
That's all I'm saying.
There's all kinds of things like that. Yeah. So so first of all, I don't know exactly why I do it like that, but I have some theories.
Okay.
My first theory is that we know each other, right? I think I know you better than I know anyone else, and I think you know me better than I know anyone else, right? That's, did I say that right?
No.
Anyway,
It's
you,
okay.
y'all know
We
what I'm
get
saying.
it.
Yeah, exactly. We know each other better than we know anybody else.
Yeah.
I think sometimes, at least for me, I act as though you're in my head. Sometimes it feels like you're in my head. Sometimes you know me so well. You know my tendencies. You know the things that I'm going to say or do or
Okay,
whatever.
okay.
And so there are times when it's almost like I'm treating you as if you know that I have a problem with something, and yet you're still talking to me a certain way. So, for instance, if I'm already annoyed about something that's going on in life, that's not the time that I want to have, some deep conversation about something. And so when you come with that deep conversation, I'm thinking to myself, doesn't she realize that I feel this way? And sometimes I don't say that, but I think that's the way I respond. And so maybe it's like, because I know you know me that well, I assume you know what's happening inside of me. Or maybe I think I told you, but I didn't. Or maybe I think you should have picked up on something. Anyway, it's just stupid. It's not a good excuse.
Right.
I'm just saying maybe that's why that happens.
Okay, and I can see that. I can see that you would think that I should know.
Right.
That you just had a phone call with somebody at work and they told you something really bad. I should have known. I should have been in that conversation.
Clearly, when you say all that, it's like, okay, there's no way.
Knowing.
Exactly. There's no way. It's
right.
dumb.
But I get it, though. I get it where you feel, and I'm just joking around, but seriously,
Yes.
I get it where you feel like when you're going through that, I should kind of notice. You feel like I should have noticed. Or
yes.
I know she can tell that I'm not in the mood when
Right.
you may not have really put that off.
Correct. I may not have really shown you in a way that was obvious. And so it's not really fair, but still, I'm just talking about why it happens.
Yeah.
Let's start with the acknowledgement, just so everybody understands, that it's not right. It's not the right thing to do.
It's not.
The way that we talk to each other is important, and it makes a difference. But I think we don't talk to our spouses or our significant others well most of the time. Now, I shouldn't say most of the time, but a lot of the time.
Well,
a lot of the time, babe.
Let's talk about us, because I don't think that
Okay.
happens with us.
Maybe not us, but I think I see a lot of couples and a lot of couples that we counsel
That's
run into this
true.
problem a lot.
That's true.
And
That's
I'm
true.
saying how we speak to each other is really important. And
It
yet,
is. It is.
for some reason, it's hard to convince couples of this. But it's never hard to convince a couple that you should speak politely to a stranger.
That's
You see what I'm saying?
true. That's a good
But
point.
we struggle to get
Okay.
we struggle to get couples to realize how important this concept is. And I
Right.
think we struggle more with this than we should. Because if it's that obvious that we should be polite to someone who's strange, then why isn't it just as obvious to be polite to each other under circumstances where we
Right.
want to just
well, I
be mad?
I think that the issue is this too, and I will say this. I think that some people feel like I don't want to have to put on
Okay.
for my,
For my spouse.
when I'm home.
Yes.
Like I just want to be the way that I,
myself. Yes.
right. Like if I ain't in the mood, I want to
want
act
to be
like
able
I'm
to
not
say
in the mood.
I'm not in the mood with you and
Right.
it not be held against me.
Exactly.
Right.
But I do know there has to be a balance there, because even if you're not in the mood, do you need to respond in a way that is disrespectful
Correct.
or where you feel like it is disrespectful
Right.
or rude
Right.
or
Right.
showing annoyance towards that person? I mean, I think that's where the line needs to be drawn.
I agree.
Okay, so
Yes.
the minimum requirement, should be that you treat me like you would a stranger, but
Still be real.
But still be
You don't-
real.
you don't have to
be
fake
fake.
it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you don't have to be fake
Yeah.
it, because some people will fake it with
Correct.
somebody at the door. You
Of
don't really
course.
want this salesperson there, but you're gonna say, "Hello, how are
Right.
you?"
Exactly.
Whatever, and you don't
Right.
really want to say
Right.
that.
So we're not
But-
encouraging you to be fake.
No,
That's not what we're
no.
saying.
But what I am saying is to think about. Okay, I'm not in a good mood right now. Maybe I need to just say.
Right.
And this is so funny because it goes back to communication.
It does.
And you might be communicating. You might think you're communicating with your facial expressions or
Right.
the way that you're
Right.
walking around the house.
Right.
But sometimes the other person is doing other things that they're not really paying attention.
Right.
And they
And they
don't
may not even
see
notice that you-
because they might be dealing with the kids
That's right.
or whatever, or they
Right.
might be working
Yes.
and they didn't really notice that. So I think we have to give each other the benefit of the doubt there to say,
Yeah.
okay, maybe they didn't realize. Let me tell my person,
Yes.
look, I'm really having a bad time right
Yes,
now. Can I
yes.
have a moment?
So,
Give me a second.
Here's the thing, though, because as we were talking about it earlier, you made the point that it's not always what I say. It's sometimes how I respond in my gesture or my action. Sometimes I huff.
True.
Sometimes I, what you mentioned in the open anyway. You said that up front,
Right.
rolling your eyes and things like
Right,
that.
right.
I wonder if with you and I, do you think it's just as often when I respond to you in a way that's nonverbal that you feel is equally as I would never do that to a stranger? You know what I'm saying?
Right. Yes, I do.
Okay, you
I
do.
think it is.
Okay.
I think it is. And,
I'm saying you think that with me. And I'm saying if that's the case, then I need to broaden this. This is more than just what I say. This is also, I need to respond to my wife in a way. Minimum requirement now.
Yes.
I need to respond to my wife in a way that I would not be embarrassed if I responded to someone else in that way and they were to confront me on it or something like that.
something little, like let's say I were to ask you, and this hasn't happened, I'm just using this as an example, but
Okay.
let's say I were to ask you, hey babe, can you take out this trash because it smells really bad?
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
I should be able to ask you that.
Right.
If you are the one that takes out the trash,
Right. Right.
I should be able to ask, could you take it out because it has a really bad smell
And I'm trying to cook.
or whatever. I don't want to smell it.
Okay,
It's in the kitchen. I don't want to smell it. It
Yes.
smells bad. Can you take it out?
Right.
And you respond with,
Right.
I mean, you wouldn't do that if somebody at work said, "Hey, man, can you come help me take this trash out because it's starting to smell, make the office smell bad."
Right.
You'd be like, "Sure."
You may do that on the inside.
The inside, you might say, and
Yes.
see, that's why I feel like there's a thin line because, of course, I don't want you being fake either.
Right.
Where you're like on the inside, but then
Right.
you get up and go take it, and later you resent me because you got to be fake with me.
Right.
That's not what I'm saying.
Yes.
But what I am saying is, it should be okay. I want to huff right now, but you know what? She didn't do anything. She's not asking anything horrible, and I could say, okay, babe, I'll take it out. I just can't do it right now.
Yes.
You know what I mean?
Yes. Yes.
But rather than
Well, let me ask
and
you.
so
a
this
different-
is not
can I
really
ask you a different
about
question?
being fake.
Can I ask you a different question? Because if it's not about being fake, if I can be my authentic self,
Yes.
and if there are times when I'm actually feeling huffy,
Yeah.
is it okay for me to huff with a qualifier? So, for instance, what if I said, you go ahead, ask me.
Okay, babe, could you take out the trash because it's really smelling badly?
First of all, that's not how you
know?
would ask me, but it's never that nice when I huff. But anyway, that's fine. Let's just assume that it was.
Babe,
Okay,
can you
fine.
take out the trash because it's smelling real bad? I really want to get out the kitchen, you know?
Babe, I'm so sorry. I'm really tired. Can I do that later? Would that bother you?
No,
You sure?
not at all.
I'm doing that next time.
I don't even ask you to do stuff.
But the huff by itself for you leaves too much unexplained.
Exactly.
And now I'm
annoying you. I get on your nerves. You don't want me to be talking to you right now. I mean, there's several things
you're
could,
left to draw your own conclusion
Exactly.
in that situation. When I actually qualify it, now I'm saying it's not you. So
Right.
you're okay with me being huffy.
Yes.
You're just not okay with
Listen.
me taking it out on you as if you did something.
Okay,
You don't want to leave the situation thinking you were the problem.
That's it. And
Okay.
I don't know if I can speak for all women
Right.
or even men who
Right.
may feel this way,
Right.
people.
Right.
But I feel like when somebody huffs or makes some kind of sound or gesture,
Right.
you don't want to have to come up with your own conclusions.
Right.
You know
you don't
what I'm
want it to
saying?
be that you were the one that
No,
made them
I
upset.
don't want
Yes.
to, and I don't want to feel like it's me. I'm
Right.
just trying to make sure it's not me.
Right.
I want to make sure that I'm not doing something that's
Right.
causing the huff or
Yes.
causing the rolling of the eyes.
Yes.
So if you can tell me, you can roll your eyes and be like,
Yeah.
look, I had something going on at work, and
Yes.
I am just
This is not the right
so
time. Can I just-
irritated
yeah.
with that. I'll talk to you about that later too. I
Right.
don't want to talk about it.
Right.
But do you mind?
Right.
No, I don't mind.
I may not even want to say that many words, but if I were to simply say, babe, I'm sorry, I can't do that right now. Can I do that later on today? Even that
exactly.
would be more
That
than
would be-
enough.
yes.
More than what I did earlier, where it
Right.
just makes you think, oh, he hates
Now,
me.
there are some people that, and we know this is true, where if the other person were to say, I really don't feel like doing that right now because I'm just not in the right place, they would get mad at me.
Right. So I think this is definitely
It's a two-way thing.
It's a case-by-case
Case
basis.
by case, but it's a two-way thing, though.
And there may be couples out there who are okay with the huff and not the explanation. You know what I'm saying?
I don't know who those people
we're
are.
talking about, right?
But there may be.
we're talking about us, obviously. What we're saying to you is the minimum requirement should be that a person who's a stranger should not get more than your significant other. That's the point.
Right.
They're more important than them.
But you know what? We even give a stranger or a coworker more communication as to why we are acting a
Oftentimes we do
certain
that
way.
too. You're right.
You know,
because we don't want them to get the wrong impression.
Exactly. But why
Yeah.
do we? Why won't we care about our spouse getting the wrong
Right.
impression?
Yeah.
We
Yeah.
should care more about. I should care more about you getting the wrong impression
Correct.
than me caring more about my coworker getting the wrong
Yes.
impression.
Yes.
And I'm saying, why is that the case? And it's probably what you said. I know you, you know me. We're comfortable with each other.
Yes.
I know you're not going to be mad at me.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
But
I know it's not
also,
going to be.
and it's also what you said that we know each other well enough, and we're not going to necessarily feel like having to be putting on for each other and stuff like that.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
So
Like,
that's
I
why I
wanna
said there has to be a
myself.
balance. So
Right.
the line can be drawn where it's like, okay, you don't have to be fake,
Right.
but you got to communicate something so that
Right.
I don't have to draw my own conclusion.
Exactly.
That's it.
It's not really fair for your spouse to leave a situation where they didn't do anything wrong, and they're
Right.
leaving now saying, "Oh man, does he hate my guts?"
Right. Or
does she want a
now
divorce?
I'm mad at you because you did that.
Right.
And now there's conflict.
Right.
When there didn't need to be any because you didn't even huff because of me.
Correct.
But
I was
now
huffing because
when we
of what's
have
going
the
on in my life.
conversation,
Right.
it's going to be about you huffed and I didn't even
Right.
do nothing to you. And then
True.
it's like,
You're right.
but you came in there asking me stuff and I
Right.
had work and I didn't. And it's like, well, I didn't know that. Well, you should have known that because I was Come on.
Why
could
are
have
you
avoided.
telling them our actual argument?
That is not our argument.
I was just kidding. That's
But
not
you
our
could
fault.
avoid all of that with just communication. And I know that is a word that is constantly used in relationships.
True.
But it is a word that has to be used.
True. It is.
You have to communicate.
You
It is
do.
not fair.
And communication is more than just what you say.
It's
'Cause
more than what you say.
I communicated when I huffed, but I left you to draw your own conclusions.
Right.
And had I done a better job at
okay.
communicating, you wouldn't have left there thinking I was upset with you.
Exactly.
But let's just say this before we go to the word of the day, because I think the word of the day is good.
Okay.
Here's the other thing that we have to admit. I'm going to admit it now, but I don't have time to really get into it.
Okay.
And that is, there are times when you don't notice that I'm upset, that I actually am upset with you when you ask me to do something or whatever.
But then I don't even notice that you were upset.
Correct. So sometimes when I respond to you in that way, it's because I am actually upset with you, but not because you necessarily did anything to begin with, because you didn't notice that I was already upset. Oh. You see what I'm saying? So something's going on with me.
So that's like our last episode.
Correct.
You were giving me a...
Yes, it was like a bid for connection or something like that.
And I didn't
you didn't
see
notice it. Right.
So then that makes you upset.
So sometimes
Okay.
sometimes
So
I
then it
want
turns.
you.
It turns.
That's exactly right. Sometimes I want you to notice what's going on with me and what's happening, especially now that we're spending all this time together at home. When we're at work when we're at work separately, I had my own separate day from you.
Yeah.
But there is no day really now that we have separate. We're
Right.
together all the time now.
Yeah,
So it's like
yeah.
when something happens, I have this expectation she's going to notice me. And sometimes when you don't, I'm like, she didn't notice, and now she's asking me to do this, and she would have never asked me to do that had she known what I was going through. And she didn't notice, now I'm mad. You see what I'm saying?
That's a good point.
Which gets really complicated, which is why we don't have time to talk about that today. But I'm just saying that is the thing.
Let's just dive into it a little bit.
Okay, go
just
ahead.
a little bit.
Dip our toe in. All right, go ahead.
Dip your toe in. I feel like, but in those situations, if you're not trying to have a conflict, you're trying to avoid conflict. Avoiding. I'm sorry.
You're not thinking about that right then.
You're not avoiding. No, you're not thinking about it right then. You're not.
You're not thinking about making sure that
you don't get in an argument.
Yeah.
Right.
What you're thinking at that moment is, I wasn't noticed. And sometimes what it makes you do, or what it encourages you to do, is to almost throw a little temper tantrum.
Okay, so you throw a little temper tantrum, right? So if I say, because I'm going to say this, why are you acting like that? Or what happened?
I've never heard you say that.
Oh, why you got to be acting like that, man?
Right.
Then that
makes it worse.
Okay, that makes it worse.
When you say why you
true.
acting like that
after
the reason I'm acting like this is because you didn't notice me, now I feel even less, well, not less noticed, but it's like, oh, excuse me. If you just noticed, you wouldn't even be asking.
Okay,
you know what I'm saying?
So now that just digs it.
Just a little bit.
But if I said to you, is everything okay, babe?
Right.
Okay, so
You
let's
say,
say,
are you all right, babe?
So let's say I say that. Are
Yes.
you all right, babe?
I was no. I'm really not. I really had a tough conversation a couple hours ago with so and so, and it really put me in a sort of bad mood.
So after you showed me with the huff, I should not respond with, why are you responding that way? What's wrong with you? Why you got to be acting like that? I should respond with, is everything okay? Like, what's wrong?
Yes.
Because I know I didn't do anything wrong.
That's right. Exactly. Just assume you didn't.
So, right. If I cannot trace back my actions to doing something that would cause that, then I need to ask you, is everything okay?
Exactly.
But I need to do it in a soft, loving way rather than
it doesn't have to be soft.
What's wrong with you?
There you go. Just not attitude.
You got to be.
It doesn't have to be soft. All it has to be is I have to be able to detect concern in your voice.
Yes.
That's it.
Yes.
If it sounds like you really are concerned about how I'm feeling, then I'm fine.
And I have to say,
that actually takes away
the
all
way
the
that
stuff.
that is all, the way that you just described everything there,
Yes.
I would say I would feel the same way. Like I would want it done the exact same way.
Yes.
And so this is not a male-female thing.
I don't think it is.
I think this is just
I don't think it is.
a person thing.
It's a person thing. Yes. if you are a human being, if you are a being at all, you probably
That is how you would want it.
because I feel honestly when I read like certain texts in scripture, it like God describes situations like this. So he's not even like a human. You know what I'm saying? Well, not God. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So I'm saying I think this is a being thing. If you're a
being.
being, if you're alive, you know what I'm saying?
If you are a being,
Yes.
you want that.
Yes. You want a certain level of consideration and concern.
Which
and
is
things
what
like
we give to strangers and coworkers.
That's what I'm
Now,
saying.
some people don't give it to their coworkers, but I'm saying you don't even want conflict with your coworkers.
Yes.
And you talk about people at work that act like that.
Exactly right.
You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
So we really don't want that with anybody.
Right.
That is not even that close to us.
Exactly.
So why would we want that with our person who's the closest?
Precisely. We
You
want to
know.
communicate to each other. You are more important than that stranger I met earlier today
Right.
that I really treated nicely.
So I'm gonna give you that.
Exactly.
The minimum.
That's the minimum. Minimum requirement, y'all.
Minimum
That's what you gotta be doing.
Okay.
Okay, so word of the day. Our word of the day is what, babe?
Word of the day is hospitality.
Hospitality. Now that may seem like a weird word.
Now
for
you
this.
chose that word, and I did not get the definition that you chose. So I want you to read that for us
Here's the definition.
right now.
Definition is the friendly and generous reception and entertainment of guests, visitors, or strangers. Now you see why I picked that word.
Yes,
because this whole time we were talking about how we all do this for strangers and stuff like that, but yet we don't do it for our significant other, for our spouse. So what I'm really saying is we need to be more generous with each other. Let's be just as generous with our significant other as we are when people come over our house and we're trying to be hospitable. Let's show each other hospitality. You are not a stranger. You are not a guest.
Right.
But I think you deserve for me to be generous with my attitude.
Yes.
That's what I'm really saying.
I like that.
I like it too.
Generous with your attitude and without being fake
Yeah, we don't have to be
or
fake.
putting on.
That's
you don't
right.
want to. You want to be comfortable in your
Yes,
home where
of
you can.
course.
You don't have to walk on eggshells.
Yeah, right.
But you also have to be considerate.
Exactly. We have to. We got to
Yeah.
do that. And if you do that, your relationship's going to go to another level.
Yeah,
I promise.
hospitality.
Yeah, man. Minimum requirement, y'all.
Minimum requirement.
See y'all next time.
Bye, guys.
Bye.